If you're new to this channel, my name is Herman Palmgren. I run an e-commerce called Arbetsbutiken as well as do some various other things. Today I've been doing the yearly inventory check. I've been doing it alone, took over like a day and a half. It's the 2nd of January. Some people are on holiday, but boy is it grinding. Winter really hit Sweden. So it's full of snow and we're gonna head home soon. It's around 5 o'clock. But before that, I'm gonna talk a little bit of strategy. And this is strategy that you can apply to really anything. And we're gonna hop on the whiteboard here and I'm gonna explain how I'm thinking. Okay, so here we have a nice whiteboard that I just drew up. And this is a little bit of a simplification, but this is how I like to think of pretty much every business move that I do. And as I mentioned, Arbetsbutiken, you can check the link down below, is this business that I'm in right now. Currently, we did around $2 million revenue all in 2025. And we're aiming to do around $2.4 million in revenue in 2026. So that's a 20% increase coming from an already 20% year-on-year growth from 2024 to 2025. I like to break it down in terms of funnel. I think that any business can be looked at as a funnel. And inside of this funnel, there are various different micro steps, but I think it boils down to 4 main steps, particularly if you're selling physical products, digital products. As a whole, it boils down to how much awareness do you get? So kind of what's the awareness of your brand and that you sell the products and or services that you do sell. Then after this, you get either website visits or store visits. In our case, we get a little bit of both, but we're primarily in e-commerce, so for this, we're doing website visits. Then after that, we're getting to website usage. And this is the number of people who come to your website and then they actually use it. And this can be measured through a metric called bounce rate, and you want to optimize for having as low of a bounce rate as possible. After that, we get to add to cart. So how many people actually look at a product, say that product looks nice, I might buy it, and they add it to the cart. And after that, how many people purchase. In the awareness world, we're kind of looking at social media, we're looking at ads, we're looking at word of mouth. We also look at, for example, AI reach. So if you go to ChatGPT and you ask, where can I buy a rope in Sweden? If you're not getting recommended, then that's awareness that you're missing out on. And then we have SEO, and this is not brand SEO, but this is more general SEO. So for example, someone might Google, how do I become an arborist, i.e. someone who climbs trees? And if we're not showing up on that organic search term, then we're losing awareness there. The way I like to look at it is that we can then break this down into different projects. And this is a little bit taken from Alex Hormozy, and that is that you can always do something, or you either do something more, you do something better, or you do something completely different. We're mostly looking at improving. So we're mostly looking at doing more, and we're mostly looking at doing better. For awareness, for example, we need to do more social media. We're very good at social media, but it's been infrequent in 2025. We need to do more of it. We need to be better at SEO, we need to be better at ads, and that we're hiring a bureau for. And we need to start doing AI optimization. We've done very little of this, so we need to kind of step this up, do this different in the way that we've done it now, and have a dedicated tool. Then we go to website visits. We look at, for example, ads, we look at SEO, and we look at clickability. So this is when you are not necessarily on top of mind for them making a specific purchase right now, but you're in your awareness and they end up on your website or they end up in your store. So this can be through either retargeting them with ads or retargeting them through organic social media, or just by them searching, for example, for a specific product and they end up on your ad, or they end up on your website. If these links are not clickable, then that's going to mean that you're not getting as much traffic to your website. After that, we're looking at website usage, which is page speed, UI, categorization, search, etc., etc. Again, I'm simplifying this a little bit. If you have a store, this step would be, for example, number of people who actually come into the store, browse around inside of the store, who interact with the staff. And what we can do better here is pretty much everything, and that's going to be covered by one of our main projects, which is Shopify migration, which is where we're going to be moving our entire platform over to Shopify in order to improve page speed, in order to improve UI, get access to better payment and shipping methods, and also in order to increase trust by presenting it in a more professional way. After that, we get to add to cart. Here are factors such as product images, the manuals that you have available on the website, if your inventory is accurate, which is something that we struggle with a little bit towards the end of this year, if you have inventory relevance, so one, do you have in stock what people want, and then you have the products, the type of products that they want. And then again, we also get to trust and we get to the offer. After this, we're looking at the products that we're going to do, and we're going to do more of products. We need to add more products. Currently, we have 3,600 SKUs, give or take, and we need to boost this. We need to build our inventory, we need to get more products so that we can sell more to more people. Then after that, we get to the final part, which is purchase, and this is how many people actually end up making a purchase. So as you can see, you start off with a big awareness part, And continuously here people drop off. And as they drop off, you make less money, you sell less, which is not good for your business. So you need to improve each and every one of these steps. And if we get to the purchase one, then the final one is, again, does the checkout look nice? Does it look good? Do we have good shipping methods? Are the payment methods of sufficient usage for everyone? And do we build trust on the checkout page? And after this, after you've gone through this entire funnel, you end up with kind of like a lifetime value. So if someone comes to you and they just buy once, that's decent. It's okay at the best. But what's good and what's great is when people get to buying continuously. So if you can guide someone through this funnel in an efficient way, give them a nice user experience once they've placed their order, i.e. they get all the stuff on time, they get everything they've ordered, and if there's any mishaps, you handle it with the best and most personal care possible. After that, we get to CRM, for example, so improving how we do emails, preferably doing it once every week. This has gone up and down throughout the year. Now I haven't really had a process for it. We need to be able to have a good service, which is again going to be a personal touch, but we can also monitor this through some more customer surveys throughout the year to ask what people like, what they don't like, what they want to see, etc., etc. And then we get to product development. This is something that a lot of the older businesses do make mistakes in regards to. If you have like one of these old iron shops, for example, they sell nails and screws. They've been selling the same nails and screws for 20, 30 years. And then you get these younger stores, the more e-commerce centric ones to come and they sell them better bundle, better offers, better pricing, for example. Then they differentiate themselves in one, just how they present it, but also by stocking, in a lot of these cases, new products compared to what these old timers have been used to stocking throughout the centuries that they've been in business, so to speak. So this is kind of how I'm looking at the funnel. Again, you can look at any business in this funnel way. There are always things that you can optimize there. In some businesses, you'll be a little bit more awareness heavy. For example, in an app, you'll be more awareness heavy than this type of business. The mistake that a lot of people make is that they tend to stick with one of these. So they say, I'm gonna focus on social media in 2026, or I'm gonna really improve my cart page in 2026. Yes, this is gonna be fantastic, but you're gonna see the greatest amount of growth when you look at the entire funnel, you identify your weaknesses and you work at all of those weaknesses as separate products throughout the year. Now, in any business, and especially in e-commerce, there are kind of really 4 things that you should be optimizing towards. And now, I'm kind of, again, simplifying a little bit here, but stick with me because you're gonna be thinking of a lot of different things that you can work towards. There are a few metrics that you should be monitoring, and I'm gonna say, as a rule of thumb, if one of your projects is not optimizing for one of these metrics, you shouldn't do that project. So you're either gonna optimize for volume, you're either gonna optimize for repeat purchases, you're either gonna optimize for average order value or for conversion rate. So if you have the same funnel and you get more people into that funnel, you're gonna sell more. If you have a funnel and you bring the same number of people through that funnel, but these people have gone through the funnel, if you can get more of them to purchase again and go through that funnel one more time, you're gonna sell more. If you can increase the average order value, so you have exactly the same volume, you have exactly the same process, but at some part you get people to add more products to their cart, or you get them to add more expensive products to the cart, you increase the average order values, and that's going to also make you more money given that volume stays the same. Also, conversion rate, you get to have the same number of people come through the funnel, you get the average order value to stay the same, but you get more people to make orders by increasing the conversion rate. That's also going to make you more money. So if your products are not optimized into one of these, then don't do that project. What's fun now about our 2026 is that we're going to have products that are going to optimize towards each and every one. So we're going to try to bring in more volume, we're going to try to increase the number of repeat purchases. This is kind of our smallest focus of the year. We're good in terms of repeat purchases. We're going to try to increase the average order, and we're going to try to increase the conversion rate. So currently our conversion rate is sitting at around 3.3%, which in e-com terms is pretty good. We're going to try to get it up to 3.9 with this Shopify migration. Through also this Shopify migration and a few other things, we're going to get the average order value from 3,300 Swedish crowns, which is around $350, to 3,800 Swedish crowns, which is around $400 US. This is already very good, but we sell expensive niche professional gear to companies mostly. Also, we're going to increase volume by spending more on Google ads and Facebook ads, as well as doing more organic social media. And this kind of boils down to these key projects that we're going to be doing in 2026, which is one, the Shopify migration, which is going to improve all the things I've touched upon already. We're going to expand our product line a little bit. We're going to add a new category of products called airspace that we're going to focus more on than we had before. We're gonna add a new product category of rope access, and we're going to have, of course, continuous product additions, so bringing in new products as they come and arrive at the market. We're going to have a findability project, which is going to be increased ad spend so that more people can find us when they search for specific products. We're going to add more dedicated SEO monitoring because what gets measured gets managed, and we're going to develop a strategy for AI optimization. How can we get ChatGPT, Claude, etc. to recommend us as opposed to our competitors? And we're going to ramp up social media volume significantly. Lastly, we're going to, on the website, have better searchability by making available better filtering for products, by having better recommendations and better categorizations, as well as more accurate inventory levels, and making sure that we always have our core at least 20% product always in stock. They should never be out of stock, which is one issue that we kind of had in 2025 as well, because we sold a little bit more than anticipated. So this is how I look at all of my businesses. Obviously, this will be different depending on if it's an app, if it's the education, or if it's the 3D print company that I have, or the bags, for example. This is going to be slightly different. But for Arbeidsbutiken, which is the largest and the most complex business that I run, this is how I look at it, and I think that you can look at any business in the same way. Yeah, that's gonna be it for that walkthrough. But yeah, this is going to be the 2026 playbook for Arbeidsbutiken. We're going to go through some of this for the apps as well. I'm just documenting what I do and the journey that I have. This is kind of like the first year where I'm not changing anything. We're just continuing on the path that we're on, and we're ramping it up because we've been cooking with the sauce in 2025. So we're really gonna be stepping this up now in 2026, but we're staying on the same trajectory. So if you like that kind of stuff, stick around, continue the rest of this vlog, and also subscribe to the channel. A lot of people who watch this are not subscribed. So what are you doing? Subscribe.
Bitches calling my phone like I'm locked up non-stop. From the plane to the fucking helicopter, yeah. Cops pulling up like I'm giving drugs. Nah. I'm a pop star, not a doctor. Hey, shorty with the long text out.
Alright, it's the end of the evening. It's just about 12 o'clock in the evening. My hair is a mess. I'm gonna put on this hat. I've been working on a couple of different things. First of all, I want to tell you about deep work. Deep work is this kind of theory or this practice more where you lock everything away. You don't get any distractions, you turn off your notifications, you don't look at any other screen, you don't context switch. Context switch here is the main one, and that is where you don't switch from doing one task to looking at emails to looking at Slack. You just dial in on one thing, and I really like to use timers for this, so I decided to build my own one. It's called Pomo Java, so looks like that. Now I've paid someone on Fiverr to do a little bit of an animation for me, but you press start work and you get a little nice, missed the button, nice animation, and it starts to drip coffee for you, and after that you can go back and you can look at your stats. So for today I've done 4 hours and 10 minutes of deep work, and the first 2 hours or so was probably building most of this app, so I didn't really record all of that inside of this app, of course. If you're building mobile apps, one Flutter SDK, which is a package that you need to install, is called User Orient. And what that does is that it allows you to add this type of button that says suggest a feature. And after that, you can literally just suggest a feature that the developer can see in the dashboard. So for example, I'm able to go to the computer here, and I'm able to see those two same features suggested. And then I will know what my users want, because that's one big thing with building mobile apps. It's always difficult to know exactly what it is that users want. Another thing that I then worked on for probably 3 hours or so was just a bunch of different improvements to my app Pouch Quit. Pouch Quit is an app that lets you quit sins. So if you're someone who's on sins or nicotine pouches, check out Pouch Quit. I think it's a very good way to taper down instead of quitting cold turkey, which is technically and scientifically better. It looks a little bit like that. Maybe you've seen it if you follow me on other social media. You can go and you have your plan. You can also press a panic button, which helps you do some breathing exercises. It's something that I added today. And I also added some detailed tracking on PostHog in order just to be able to see kind of how my app is performing in regards to download rates, account creation rates, payment rate, etc. So just a little bit of an overview. I also did and started a new paywall experiment for Pouch Quit. So that's what I worked on tonight, just a bunch of different stuff. But if there's something that you take away with you, do as much deep work as possible. And deep work is when you don't allow any context switching and when you don't really allow any distractions, and make sure you time yourselves. I'll leave the link to this, my new app, down below in the description. It's going to be completely free of charge. Check it out. It's a free. Works super well, I think, for when you need to really dial in and really get stuff done. We have this guy. He's always sitting here in the corner of the office. What's up, dude? But yeah, that's gonna be it for tonight. It's just around 12 o'clock. We're gonna call it a night, and I'll see you in the morning. Oof, it's like a day later. I just got back from the gym a little bit, and this is either the best or the worst. No, usually it's the worst thing. All these goddamn letters from the taxation authority. I feel like these people are saying they'll stop. Sometimes these are bad, sometimes they're just them telling you something like, yo, your taxes, I'm not gonna pay them, joke on you. No, we will be paying them. Here I have something kind of fun. It is just a poster of the goals that I have for 2026. Came a little bit late, it's like middle of January now, so it's a little bit late. It is what it is. We're gonna open this up and see how we can figure out how to do it. It's a small ass poster. Close gonna be way bigger. Let's put it up in the office. There, in the office. So we got this put up now on the wall. Whenever we can take a look at it, we're gonna take a look at it to know what the goals are. Show you what the office looks like. It looks like this. Kind of a little bit misplaced. We have this big ass poster on the wall there. At least there I'll see them every time I walk in. I haven't really been a big fan of like manifestation and that type of stuff until this year really. And it so happened that at the beginning of the year, my app portfolio was at $0 MRR. I was just building apps for others and some fun ones for myself, but I wasn't really making any money. And then I set quite an ambitious goal at the beginning of the year. For both myself, for my apps, and for the retail store that I run, Arbetsbutiken. And it worked out pretty much exactly how I set the goal. So we're doing the same thing this year. We're being ambitious as hell with some of these goals, like logging 1,014 deep work hours. So deep work are sessions where you don't have any distractions, you turn off all notifications and you track it on a Pomodoro timer. I've built an app for that. It's mine, it's completely free of charge. You can download it in the link down below. And then some other goals, like some revenue goals, etc. If you're really interested, you can go back and you can pause it there to see. I'm not gonna go over all of them. But then I've also put up some principles next to it, which is reminders of how we're gonna act in order to be able to achieve those goals to the left of it. But that's gonna be it for this vlog. Not sure if you can call it vlog. It was more like a show and tell of strategy, but really do consider that strategy if you're working with any business really. And let me know what you think about it. But with that said, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.